Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical. This will be a primarily focused card making YouTube channel, so let's get into it. So for today, I am starting with the stamp set that started it all for me. This is Magical Dragons from MFT. This specific image itself is actually what got me into stamping about 6 years ago. I was scrolling through my Pinterest and saw this image and absolutely needed to have it. I do have a dragon collection of statues and such and collectibles, so this was just right up my alley. So I went did some research to find out where I could get this, and it actually started me down a rabbit hole of the card making world, and I ended up purchasing a bunch of stamp sets and just getting into it. And I haven't stopped since. I make hundreds of cards a year, and I enjoy the process every single time I make one. Um, so right now I'm just going to speed through some coloring that I'm working on this. You'll notice that I don't specify which markers that I'm using because I don't use any specific sets of alcohol markers. I have a mixture of Copics and Prismacolors, ones I've got from dollar stores, ones from Amazon. I just have like a whole mixture of them, so I don't provide the blends that I use just because of that reason. I encourage you guys to use what you have, and if you do need more Copic coloring tutorials, there's more out there that you could go to instead of this, but for my channel specifically, I won't be doing anything that's by the book, these specific blends or anything. I just grab whatever markers I think go together, and I also don't necessarily do smooth blends all the time. Sometimes I like a more cell shaded look to my stamps. This one does blend a little bit better, but that's not always the case, just FYI. Right now I'm coloring this dragon in pinks because I will be making a Valentine's Day card. And I thought it would be really cute to color this particular image in pink. I don't think I've actually done that before. I've done this image many, many times, and I've done them in rainbow colors and blues and greens, and pinks the first time for this one. So I thought I would give it a go. This image is actually pretty good for coloring because there's a lot of like bigger areas, and you can just pick a few colors. You can always do the belly in rainbow colors, which I've done in the past. Just adds a little bit more interest if you do all the like scaled areas a little bit different. So yeah, so I'm just actually adding a little bit more shading in here and darkening up a few of those areas before I restamp the outline for this. I tend to do that a lot with my stamped images nowadays. I find that the alcohol markers do tend to like leach out the black color a little bit, even when you're using Copic friendly inks like I do. I use the Lawn Fawn Black Licorice ink. But after you use the alcohol markers, it kind of like bleeds that color out, and I just find it easier to use a stamping tool and help restamp those black images. It really does help the images pop. Here I am just cleaning off my Misty. I have a laminated piece of graph paper in mine, so I just have a squirt bottle of water, and I just squirt the water on the laminated sheet as well as the stamp to clean it off with a microfiber cloth. And now I'm positioning the colored image on my mat that I'm using for the base of my image, just so I can position the background stamps that I'm using. This is Ton of Hearts from Simon Says Stamp. It just comes with a bunch of solid hearts and outline hearts that you can use, so I'm going to use both a solid and the outline heart in the largest size. Here I am trying to pick out which colors I'm going to use, and I end up going with the cranberry and chili pepper inks from Lawn Fawn. I have a bunch of their tiny ink cubes, which are just a great option for when you don't use a lot of ink colors. I don't tend to use a lot of ink blending and stuff, so I bought the ink cubes just so I do have those color options when I do need them, like today. And I'm using the cranberry for the solid one and then the chili pepper for the outline. I liked the way that the cranberry kind of held that texture of the ink pad itself, and it wasn't completely solid. It just adds that like a bit of a distressed look, so I didn't bother stamping it twice. The chili pepper outline, however, I do stamp twice just to give it a bit of a more solid line, and it helps it brighten the color as well. And then here I am just placing the image, having a look at it, sitting here trying to decide what else this card needs because it's not quite there. Like the dragon just blends into the background a little bit too much. So I decided to bring out that chili pepper ink again and just like ink blend a little bit of it in the center in a circle just to help that dragon stand out a lot more. And then there wasn't enough on the left side, so I added a bit more. That looks a lot better, especially with that white outline that the die cuts give, because it just helps it pop out off the white cardstock a lot better. And now I'm just adding a bit of Simon Says Stamps Big Mama foam tape to the back of the image. This will just help it pop off the base of the card a little bit more. I like to do this as much as possible just because it gives that card that little bit of extra. And now you're going to watch me struggle getting the backing off of this tape. Sometimes it's a little difficult, so I tend to use a craft knife to help get that off. It does really help out. And now it's time to place that image on the card before I start adding the other matte layers and adding it to the card base. This top panel here actually measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches, which I am then going to match to a red panel that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we'll put it on a standard A2 size card base that is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So here I am just adding that top mat to the mid layer, and then I will add both of these to the card base, making sure to center it both times. And it looks like I'm putting a lot of glue on here, but I'm really not. It's just a little bit. These fine tip bottles actually work great for that. And then I'm going to stamp my custom logo on the back that I got made locally here in Toronto. So it has my logo and then just handmade by Liz at the bottom. And that's where I thought I was finished with this card, but then I decided to bring it back out. I thought it needed a little bit of bling, so I'm just gonna add Studio Katya's Majestic Confetti Mix to it. Just a couple here and there, just to make it a little bit more interesting, add a little bit of sparkle, and you'll actually see in the final photo at the end of the video that I do end up also adding a bit of Sakura Jelly Roll clear sparkle pen just to the horns and the wings of the dragon. And here you're just going to see me place the sequins before I end up gluing them down. I had 4 and then I just went back down to 3. I think the 3 with the 2 hearts in the background really helps keep that uneven numbers, which is a really good balance for any kind of element you have on a card. And then I'm just going to glue them down, and that will be it for this card. So I'm going to thank you guys for watching my video. If you have any suggestions for improvement from now on, that would be great. If you have any comments on the cards, that would also be amazing. But thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!